So what a crazy day it was for the Buffalo Bills on Wednesday. Of course, all of you seen a sports NFL, which are definitely the top of the news in terms of moves and transactions. A lot of releases, a couple restructures, and a few signed slash re-sign players. So the biggest one are no doubt the released ones. Early into Wednesday, the top two that immediately came out was Jordan Poyer and Mitch Morse. And I made a video a week or two ago about the Bills cap, 2024 offseason and the cap situation they're in. At that time of the recording, I think they were at around 40 million and over the cap as they are, entering Wednesday. Before that, they were at 54 or so. Luckily, they got help with the NFL cap moving up to 255. They had saved around $14 million on that, so it kind of alleviated some of the pain. But still, entering today, they were in 40 million. But I did propose that Mitch Morse could have been a candidate to get cut because of the cap situation, also too with age and injury concerns. No doubt, I'm not surprised that he got released because of that situation. Jordan Poyer, I was a little bit shocked because I thought they would let him play his final year of his contract, since they signed him to a 2-year deal, and just let him most likely retire as a Buffalo Bill. So I'm surprised they did. To me, it's really shocking that they did let him go to the free agency. Essentially, I don't know where he's going to sign. If he does sign somewhere, I do expect him to go to another team. I don't expect him to retire, but the top two were overall a little bit surprising. The next one was Tre'Davious White. That was another candidate I did have on there to save a lot of money. His cap savings won't hit until post June 1st, which they will save $10.2 million on the cap for that. But I got another, sad to see that for him to go. He's the first pick in the Sean McDermott era. So that, you have to remember that Brandon Beane was not there in the 2017 draft. He came after the draft was over. So essentially, it was Doug Whaley. Doug Whaley was still there as a GM. So essentially, Sean McDermott was really the ones picking the players, and also with the help whatever degree Doug Whaley was there. But no doubt the first pick in the Sean McDermott era, and phenomenal player. It's sad to see the last 3 years just really be injury riddled, missing a lot of time, especially this past year where in week 4 he tore his Achilles after just coming back last year from a torn ACL. It's upsetting to see him go. Again, one of the first few players to be in the McDermott era, and I wish him the best. It's unfortunate the injuries really piled up towards the end of his tenure. But again, I guess cap wise, shouldn't be surprised by that. Cornerback Siran Neal, a phenomenal special teams player. He was released. I think we saved around $3 million with that. And also another person I'm not surprised with is Deontay Hardy, who just signed a contract last offseason for, I think it was a 2 or 3 year deal. Didn't really do too much with the team. His biggest play was the punt return touchdown in Week 18 for the Miami Dolphins. Outside of that, didn't really use him too much. I mean, he was regarded as a special teams player, returner, and was in the offense. Made a few catches here and there. More of a gadget player, but again, just didn't really do anything for the team overall. For restructures, I did miss one. I forgot to add Rasul Douglas restructured his deal. He saved the team $2.5 million, and Von Miller restructured his deal, saving around over $8 million on the cap. And also for bulk of his money, he can make up to $20 million this year, but $20 million of those is all tied up in incentives. So they're kind of forcing Von's hand and actually kind of forcing him to play better, force him to actually try in this year, because he came off injury last year, but just did not seem the same player. It seemed an absolute waste. It was kind of just infuriating to see him on the field at times when he was on the rotation. Now this time it actually forces him to step up and have him to make those plays. And for the 3 that were signed or re-signed, the only re-signed player was Taylor Rapp. They signed to a 3-year deal, $14.5 million. Trubisky, at the time when I posted this, it was unknown what his contract was. For this, Trubisky signed a 2-year, $5.25 million contract that can go up to $5.25 million, with maxing out at $5.45 with incentives. And it also brought back Matt Haack, also from the 2021 team, along with Mitchell Trubisky when he was here on a 1-year deal as well. But again, overall, it's tough seeing these big some of these big guys, big name guys leave. It's upsetting. With that move overall, it does save the team $25.95 million. And of course, like I said, post June 1st, when Tre'Davious White's cap savings kick in, it'll bump up to 35.95. So again, I understand why I did it. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be sad seeing this upcoming, when the next season starts, especially on defense. These guys aren't here, and there's a couple other ones that aren't gonna be here as well. Like Micah Hyde don't have an official answer yet of what's gonna happen with them, but I do expect him as well. As the season ended with him being a free agent, I do expect him to also move on and go somewhere else. So not only that, you're potentially losing your both starting safeties, 2 corners. Even though Strandale was never a starter, he came in the lineup a couple times, but you're losing your number 1 corner for the last 6-7 years. Tre'Davious White, losing depth at the corner position, and also other people too with AJ Espinosa, Daquan Jones, Floyd, and there's other free agents on the defense that we just don't know yet. Poona Ford, Tim Settle. So this defense is going to look a lot different, much different, entering the 2024 season, and it's sad. And Von Miller, make no mistake, if Von Miller didn't have such a high dead cap casualty, Von Miller would probably be on this list too as players that are released. He's only on here because the dead cap is saving him with that, but I have no doubt in my mind if the dead cap was an issue, he would also be a player on this list as well. But it's also, you look at the list, and it's mostly getting rid of a little bit older people. Again, Jordan Poyer, Mitch Morse, Tre'Davious White's getting up there in age as well, Micah Hyde. So it's very upsetting. I know definitely a lot of Bills fans are upset with the news and seeing these longtime players go. But it's in a way with it being upsetting and sad and depressing. I think it also is a little bit of excitement of what's going to happen with this team, because now it kind of forces Sean McDermott's hand of kind of coaching things differently. Now he's not going to have the rotational defensive line where some of the players only play 40% of the snaps of the year or so. He's going to have to bump that up a lot more because he's not going to have the depth as a defensive line. What is he going to do? He doesn't like playing a lot of younger players initially. He likes to always favor the veteran older players. Now he's not going to have that with the cap situations. Now he's forcing his hand to do things that maybe he's not comfortable with or he's not used to doing. But it's definitely it'll definitely be interesting to see. Quickly looking at what the Bills cap, what they have right now with all the savings, they are only $7.4 million over the cap, which got a lot better. Before entering today, they were at over $40 million over the cap, so definitely a huge decrease in that. $33 million in savings. And also looking to where it stacks up across the NFL, they are still one of the few teams left with over the cap, but in a good situation. They only a couple weeks ago, the Bills were the second worst team with negative $54 million on the cap. They are now moved up a little bit, 28th overall. The only teams being worse is New Orleans Saints, Miami Dolphins, Los Angeles Chargers, and Denver Broncos. But overall, no doubt, and I expect definitely in a week or two that they will get back to the positives of the cap side, and we'll get this going. Maybe a couple more. This is even before restructuring Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, or who else you want to add on there for their contract. So I think even with one of the moves or one of the restructures, that they'll easily be over the cap or under the cap in that situation. But I just want to give a quick update with the Buffalo Bills moves. Again, tons of moves yesterday. I don't expect too many more shocking releases or trades or anything like that. I don't expect that. I think this is really the bulk of it. Maybe the last one is just Micah Hyde officially knowing what's going to happen with him in his future. Again, it's not official yet, but we don't have an answer exactly on that. So that might be the last big name player to leave. But overall, I think this is the bulk of it. This is the most of it. This is the big casualty they had to get rid of. Now they have to figure out what they're going to do in the process of replacing these guys.